Hi guys, welcome to After All of That. So this is our second installment. Thank you guys so much for the support that you did show us last week. We really do appreciate it. This week, I don't know if it's as equally messy or even more messy as last week, but we have so much to talk about. My name is Josiane. I am with my co-hosts Nick and Vicken. And we're just going to dive right in and talk about the HOH competition. What did you guys think about the game itself?
Oh, it was a great start for a HOH comp. Nothing sounds better than a good endurance. I love me an endurance comp. And there's so many variations. So you could the ideas could be like anything. So this archery type of thing with the balls, it was top notch. I liked it. The outcome though, I was really shocked and impressed that the final two were Latoya and Austin. It was very shocking to me. I thought some people were saying they're comp beast and all that, but they're like the first outs. So I was very impressed for them too. And obviously Austin took the win. I don't know if anyone else could add into that.
So I like the comp. I like the idea of it. I don't I don't really care for Austin now. I think I would have had like the dolls been able to like work out. Because I've noticed I don't not that I don't care for Braden, but like I kind of didn't really think of him much this week, which kind of sucks because I do think that if the outcome last week was different, that they would have been able to like do something really good this week. Um, but I didn't know how I felt about Austin. I mean, I knew what the nominations were before I saw the episode. So like watching it, I was just kind of like prepared for like the disappointment because I don't think that it was really the initial nominees. The initial nominees were, I guess the nominees this week were smart, but the way that the votes went wasn't really smart. But I do think like there was potential there. But yeah, she's not one of my favorites, but I
Do you
think
think it
she
was do you think it was
accomplished
like
her goal.
do you think the HOE train was like lackluster for you, or like you thought like something else could have happened?
I just wish like going into this week, like Josh wasn't the target. I feel like
Okay.
if anyone on the other team won, like whatever team Josh was on, if anyone from that team, like, okay, why am I phrasing this wrong? If the opposite team of Josh, if any of them won, I had a feeling that Josh was just going to be the target, which again isn't really dumb. I mean, isn't really smart because of the team twist that they had thought was going to continue on. Um, I just think that like it weakened their team again, like they could have done last week that they still messed up on.
Yeah.
Actually, let's talk about that for a second because I think that has a lot to do with what happened this week. Because for people who didn't watch the feeds, Josh originally actually wasn't the target. Originally, Kiefer was the target. Surprise. Huh. Yeah, so originally, because of what transpired during the HOH, which I find was really interesting, because Kiefer, during the show, they showed it as Kiefer was supporting Latoya, and it was just like once or twice. But apparently, in the feeds, it was said that Kiefer was doing it constantly. He was psyching her out, pissing her off, and she had said some stuff back to him. So coming in, when I watched feeds on Friday morning, she was talking to Braden and Victoria, who are in an alliance now called like the Glossy or Glossless. I literally don't know the name. But if you look at BB Junkie, like they have the update of the alliances. And they were talking about Kiefer going home. So Kiefer was supposed to go. So with that, nominations happen, and I honestly think that the nominations were not smart for Austin's game because everyone was gonna come for Josh regardless. Like I get why she did it, but like had she not put Josh up on the block with Kiefer as her target, Josh would have been a number for her, and they wouldn't have had the big fight that they had later on this week. So that was nominations, and then we had POV. So does anyone want to talk about POV?
I mean, I could start it off. POV. It was something. I was actually a little pissed off that they used apples like waste of food. I hope they used it for like eating purposes, like right after the comp or something. But like, I mean, me, it's like a small tick of mine. I don't think you should use animals or like food in competitions because like you're wasting it. Anyways, but other than that, I was again shocked with the outcome. Like I saw the lineup and I was like, okay, Kiefer is going out, maybe Tina's going out, like that's it, and probably Tara or Josh or Victoria is gonna win. One of them, one of those three. But after that, like I got like I got flung with the results, and I saw that Kiefer had like the most apples, and then second place was Tara and no, not Tara, Tina and Josh, right?
Yeah. So yeah, Tina and Josh were tied. But I
Exactly, yeah.
believe that because they said they were tied, but Tina rang first, so I feel like technically she should win. But
Second, yeah.
that's just me.
No, I think she could be second too. That's really good. So, also, it was a really good comp. Besides the fact they shouldn't have used apples because, like, why were you? I don't know. It's a small thing that annoyed me, but other than that, it was really good. And obviously, Kiefer used it on himself. I would have been so shocked if he said what he did, what he said last time. He said, "I'm not going to use it if I win." So that was pretty funny that he used it. And what do you guys think about the renom?
Well, I just want to talk about the veto real fast.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I thought it was. I don't know why they didn't have HOH compete. I don't know if I had.
I love that.
I
It's
did love it.
amazing.
I thought it was cool because it allows kind of like people don't just follow what the HOH says, because it's like they're not even in it. Like it doesn't. It like kind of takes away that from them still controlling the veto outcome. To me, um, but I don't know how I feel about 5 players. I still do like 6 players. I feel. Um,
But
I don't know. Maybe it's just a minor number thing. Like I don't know. I like keeping it.
just to give you like a heads up, like it's the third season in a row that they're doing this. They started this at season 6 or 7. No, 7. Yeah, they did it for season 7.
So HOH just doesn't compete ever.
Exactly. Season 7, there was no HOH playing in veto. Season 8, I think they did the same thing, but like I don't know how many vetoes we saw in that season, but like either way, there was no HOH, and they continued the same twist. I think it's good. I think it's funny. I not funny. It's like it gives a sort of edge where like you said, like no one's playing for the HOH, everyone's playing for themselves. So that's a really cool twist. But it sucks if you're HOH because you want to keep the noms the same, obviously.
Before we move on to the renom, I'm curious if you guys think that it was a smart move for Josh to pick Tina as house guest choice.
I wouldn't say it wasn't smart, but I wouldn't say it was the right move because you never know. It's too early in this game. You couldn't. I think it's bad on Josh's end because he already made like a bias on Tina, saying that I could beat Tina, and it showed out that Tina like fucking beasted on that comp and she was second. So I think Josh had to pick, let's say, Beth or maybe Victoria because on if you compare Beth on her last competition, she was like first out on the first safety comp and the first HOH. She was like one of the first out. So if I was Josh, I would have picked Beth because I know she wouldn't do as well. Do y'all get me?
I yeah, I get what you mean, but I personally think that no matter who he picked, he had to win it. So I think because there was something mentioned, I believe, because I never saw like the whole house meeting. I don't know if the whole thing was on feeds, but I think there was something mentioned about like who he picked for veto.
Yeah.
There was talk about it throughout the week, and like it was like Rohan was like saying something, but it was like why would he do that? Like I mean, like no one was ever going to do it. And I think Josh straight up said I did not want to pick Rohan, so it was like he doesn't have to. But again, I didn't see anything on feeds, unfortunately. So, it's kind of really hard. But I think like overall, even maybe someone who had a strong connection with Josh, if they won, I don't think they would have used it because the whole house was after them. That would have just been like, all right, you're next, kind of a deal. Yeah, it would have secured their safety at least for one more week, but still, I think like over time, they're not letting up on Josh. So why would they just now they have a second nominee to put up if someone were to ever do that? So I think like no matter what, he had to win it for himself. Then why not pick someone who he thought would be weak? Like I mean, you can assume and be wrong, but I feel like regardless, he had no choice.
Mm.
Yeah, Josh dug his own grave, in my opinion. But I felt like he had some fire, and I appreciated the mess that he caused. It was very entertaining at a certain point. But yeah, he just had to win that veto, and there was basically no other choice to be saved. And yeah, that it went to his demise, and he lost. I don't know if this is true, but I saw on Twitter he went to Kyle and he said you're not winning Big Brother because you're a white cis male. Like, can someone like tell me if that's true or not? Because when I saw that, I was like shocked. Like, if I would be Kyle, I would be like, what the fuck? Like, could someone like tell me if that's true or it's like some guy or some person faking it?
I didn't see that, but I saw it several times. So I'm gonna say
It's true.
it's true, but like I don't think that really. I think if it was said, I don't think it was like you're a white straight male. You're not
No,
winning
of
this game.
course.
Like I don't think it was said like that. Regardless, I don't think it impacted anything. Also, Josh is a white male to some regard. So like, it's like you're picking. It's like you
It's just
have
the
more
irony.
privilege than I do. Like what? Hello, there are black
It,
people in the house. Please, there are black women in the house. Please stop talking. Like please, like this is a conversation you're having. You're gonna call out the fact that he's white, straight, and male. Please get out of here.
yeah,
Next caller, next case. Like,
it was
come
just
on now.
it was just very ironic, and I found that so funny. Like, if he would have said that, I'll be like, what the hell is wrong with him? And yeah, I was like, it's crazy how people say things and like it goes on to the feeds and Twitter just eats them up. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I found that very ironic.
I like. Okay, so Kiefer wins POV and he celebrates. I think he did this like little like the dance. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't know if the dance itself is like related to his culture, but if it is, then I think it would be. I think it's dope, and it kind of like empowers his like people. You know what I mean? Like the people back home watching. So I thought that was really cool. He won POV, and so before POV, I'm just gonna talk about feeds for a second so that we can get back into it. He was like, I feel so comfortable being beside Josh. This is the best case scenario. I don't even think I have to use power of veto. And I lost my shit. I was on Twitter. I was like, hello, you're on the block. Like, I don't care how safe you feel. You're on the, and this is the common theme that people seem to have. Obviously, Josh has gone home now, but every time Josh is beside someone who's in trouble, everyone thinks they're so safe. Julie thought she was safe. She went. Kiefer was the target, literally the target. And he was like, I'm safe. I'm cool. I'm beside Josh, like whatever. And he just so happened to win POV and then he took himself off because I think he did catch wind that he was possibly the target. But even the idea of thinking, I'm on the block, whatever. Like, do you know what game we're playing? Like, have you lost your mind? Have you lost your marbles? Like, are you sick? Like, what do you guys think? Because I'm flabbergasted.
It's the cockiness for me. She shouldn't think like that. It's Big Brother. Like, even if I'm with like legit the worst person in the game, caused so much shit and did everything like that was like messy, and I won veto. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna use it on myself. It's the HOH that's gonna put another person. The HOH is gonna be in deep shit, not me. So like, honestly, Kiefer, I love Kiefer. It's just that sometimes he has this sort of like he has this ego or this sort of cockiness in him, which is a little bit annoying, and he shouldn't do that a lot because people won't like that, and maybe they'll put him up again. But hey, that's my opinion. Nick, how about you? What do you think about it?
I didn't know he like. I didn't see that. Of course, again, I can't see feeds. But I don't know. I think again, I think that is a little annoying. But at the same time, it's like, well, no, any kind of talk about like being secure enough to stay on the block is just dumb. Not even just annoying. It's like that's just a dumb way to think in a game where like everyone's lying to you and intentionally lying to you, where that's like what you do. But I don't know. I feel like a little bit of it, like maybe it was just for show. Like I don't think he ever would have been in the position where if he did win it, like I don't think he ever would have not used it personally. So I mean, like maybe I don't know. Like maybe he just had to hype himself up. Like maybe he just wanted to be like, all right, let's get into it. Like, which I mean, hopefully it's like that. Hopefully he didn't actually think like, oh, I'm just not going to use it. But regardless, I still do like him. I know like a lot of at least my mutuals on Twitter like don't seem to like him much anymore, which to me is kind of sad. Or maybe they just didn't like him in general. I still find myself rooting for him. I think he's overall like level-headed. I think like he makes like little like annoying comments. Like I remember he said like boys versus girls, which would have been annoying to me. And I know some people didn't like that either. But I don't know. I think like I think maybe it may be him like excited in the moment and just kind of like speaking without thinking perhaps. But at the same time, I don't know.
I will say, like, when he was talking, it was giving me flashbacks to Marcellus. Like, Marcellus being like, I'm on the block, I'm not going to use power of veto on the block with Amy because he's like, I can't do this to Amy. And then he went home. Like, I literally, the whole time I was saying there, I was like, if you don't win POV and you're or if you do win POV and you don't take yourself off, I will literally, like, oh my God. I was like, we do not need a Marcellus moment in Big Brother Canada history. Like, please, next caller, next case, close. Not, But that was an iconic moment, for sure, for sure.
No, if you ever don't use it, then I just hope that you go home. Guarantee your safety, you do. Why would you not do it? Anything. And if it's like, it's not even like it's like, oh, you might be safe. It's like, no, you are guaranteed to be safe. You don't pass that up. Especially because this week did flip a lot. Although it still ended with I guess not the original, but with the original plan once the renom was done, I guess it stayed with that. So it's like, you never know. But at the same time, you never know. Like, you don't want to like say you're all so confident and then like be out the door like Marcellus was. So I think like if you ever fucking have that opportunity, you don't pass that up. You don't gamble it. At that point, you just be selfish, take it. If you're worried about someone else, don't worry about them. Worry about yourself. Just take yourself off.
100%. So yeah, after that, that whole POV mess, Austin puts there was actually two options for Austin. It was Jetson and Rohan, right? And and Austin decides to pick Rohan. So what are you guys thinking? I could see Josie's
It's so funny because I know that people on YouTube can't see me. I think it's like speaker view, so they can't see my inner reactions. Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna keep it tame because I have so much to say. Okay, so we're just gonna go about it. Jed is this big 6 foot, God knows what, guy walking around the house. If I ever won first HOH, well, he is a black man, so I think I'd have some inner struggle. But, like, let's say it was, like, I was in BB Can 5, where there was, like, Demetrius, a white man, and Mark, another white man. Those two people are going on the block. Are you dumb? Hello? I don't know what game you're playing, but I know that I can't beat a strong 6'7" guy, whatever, in a physical comp. Hello? I know I can't do that. So I'm putting them up. Now the guys this season, I don't know if they threw that last HOH. I don't think Jetson did because of the way he was shaking like a leaf. I was like, well, hold on. Okay. But like also same. I can't even come for him because also same. I'd probably be out first. Like, who am I to say that? But I'm just like, if you see that opportunity, why don't you take it? Like, I don't, from what I've seen on the feeds, she might think that Jed is a number for her, but Austin needs to wake up. And this is why her HOH was so frustrating. And the DR she was talking about, this week I'm going to do my HOH and I'm going to gather as much information as I possibly can to better myself in my game. And I was like, okay, I love that mentality. Anyone who comes into HOH has to have that mentality. Like, hello, we're playing a game where information is always shared around, passed around, all that. So she was there, and Friday morning is when I watched feeds, and she already decided who she was nominating. She was nominating Kiefer and Josh from Jump. She didn't talk to anyone else. She already knew. I think she talked to Brittany and Victoria, but like I think everyone was on the same page from Jump that those two people were going up. Obviously, Kiefer was a target, so that kind of made me feel better about Josh, even though like I do like Kiefer too. But it was just it's so frustrating for like Austin's gonna wake up and realize that she's like at the bottom, and it's gonna be too late. Like it's gonna be too late. Obviously, I think Victoria won HOH, like the HOH that just happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Feeds came back on and she was talking about it's gonna be a good week, guys. Da, da, da. So I think she won. So it benefits Austin, but like Victoria and Austin can't keep winning back to back to back, or Braden. Like they can't keep doing that. Like that's bad social game. Like I just think it's a bit ridiculous to not see a. If we don't know if the team's twist is over, I want to win for my team. Taking Jed out is a good thing for my game. I just wish she would have done it. But even then, like that's not even my biggest issue. Like, okay, go ahead, renom Rohan, who was also in trouble last week, which is boring. Once again, like as a Rohan stan, I'm tired for him. I'm tired for Josh. I'm tired for Rohan, and I'm tired for Kiefer. I can't. So I was just like, okay, it's expected. His name's already out there. It's the easy thing. But like, Rohan isn't winning competitions for that team in comparison to Judson. Anyways. How about you, Nick? What do you think?
Oh, I was just checking. I guess Victoria did win.
Yeah, I saw it too, Victoria. I see Victoria tweets.
Which
Victoria stands are going off.
To that, but I think I'm excited for her because I do like her. I want to see her like, accomplish whatever. But I just don't think it's smart. I mean, she did win that first comp, but maybe it's just like what we've been seeing. But I haven't seen many people like hold on to that, like the fact that she did win it. Like
I was gonna say, I will say, people are scared of her. People have been like, Vic's like the target. I think they think that she's.
Oh yeah.
The idea was already in there, and her winning this, just like I think is growing the seed of doubt with Victoria.
Didn't she? I think I remember seeing like she had a plan like last week, like the week that Austin won. Had she won HOH?
Oh, it was Tara and
Tina.
Tara and Tina, yeah.
Oh, so do you think she's gonna stick with that?
No.
No.
Okay.
Hell no.
I haven't.
She's probably. We'll get into it because we have to talk about that whole meeting and the flip vote. But let's just say that original plan. Well, Tina might be in trouble, but I don't think that's like sealed.
Okay, I just need like my draft to not keep going home. Anything else would be great. So what were we talking about? Like
we were talking about the idea of Jed versus Roe going on the block. Obviously, we know that Roe went, but went on the block. Sorry, but what do you think about the situation of potentially putting either or?
I think it should have been something like that. Josh is just too easy. That I feel like it was just kind of like you missed every opportunity that you could have taken. Because once Josh is up there, everyone already had, like, as it was pointed out, he's like burned so many bridges. Like, once you put Josh up, it's kind of like no matter what your target could be, like you already have the negativity that surrounds Josh. That like it kind of threw it away. I think like Rohan should have gone home, but I think maybe Jed, like someone else had to be next to him. It shouldn't have been Josh. Shouldn't have been someone who already was at the bottom. Like if it had been two people who thought they were at the top or top of what they could be of like that team, then it would have been like guaranteed to kind of shift something that could like not only take out a better player than Josh, because Josh is like, I feel like Josh's whole point after week one was like not prove that he's a bad player, but prove that he's in such a bad spot that you're an idiot to get rid of him, which is true. Whereas like they would have gotten rid of someone close to the top and and some side would have been able to grab Josh. Like, you get rid of the better players, and then you keep the one in trouble who doesn't have anybody, because then you be that somebody that they have, and then you have that other person. I just feel like getting, like, I don't know. We watched like the season 3 premiere, and it was like when Cindy won the veto and got to name the replacement, and she chose Peely instead of like any of the big guys. I feel like it's like that. Like, you're just like targeting weaker people just to be safe, and it's just not. Like, I get it's early, but this season seems to be moving like pretty fast. People are all playing hard. You just don't ever pass up an opportunity. And by putting 2 people up who are like big, strong guys, if that's what they're going for, that guarantees one's gone. It's not like you put up one big guy, well, what they did, Rohan and Josh. It's not where you put up one who's in a good spot and one in a bad spot. It's like, then you're just kind of guaranteeing the person in a good spot stays, and now they have a reason to go after you. So I just think, like, 2 weeks in a row, I just think, like, come on. Like, maybe it's because they're both my draft, maybe just because I like them, but it's just, like, I don't see, like, Julie, I do see some sort of, like, it was a good gameplay, but Josh I don't think was good at all.
I will say, though, LaToya was an option, which was, like, weird to me, because I was like, I didn't see that on feeds, but apparently that was a thing during the show itself. I was like, huh? And then she talked about backdoor LaToya again. And I was like, what? Anyways, Vicken, what do you think?
That would have been smart, though, to backdoor LaToya.
It would have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been here for it, but it would have.
Yeah.
LaToya had, like, the Sunsetters, like, no, we're not flipping. We are not doing that. And, like, I know that the conversation continued after, not to cut off Vicken. Like, I know that the conversation continued after that, but, like, she has control. Like, the people are going to listen to her, so it would have been smart as well.
Yeah, guys, I agree with y'all 100%. It's Big Brother. Like, I want to see some messy shit, and there is no messy shit whatsoever. I am really annoyed and flabbergasted. It's so freaking stupid that, like, you look at Josh and he's at the bottom. He's in the basement. He's down, okay? And no one is, like, every time you could always put him as a pawn, and Josh would be like, okay, y'all put me as a pawn. It's all good. But then, I don't know. It's just, and then you have the option between Jetson and Rohan and possibly LaToya, and he chooses the person that is, like, the least strong, I guess, or least dominant, whatever. Exactly. And I just feel like, I don't want to say this, but Austin is playing a very scared game, and she needs to wake up. She needs to snap out of it, because, and I'd see in a couple weeks maybe she'll get voted off like that, and she needs to snap out of it. Other than that, what do you guys think about that unnecessary house meeting? I found it very unnecessary.
I just think it's stupid. They called a meeting over playing the game. It's like, that's what you're gonna see. That's what you have been seeing already. Josh isn't the first person to, like, say something, like, and I don't know if I'm, like, I don't know how much Josh was, like, right about it or honest about it, but all I saw was, like, from what I saw, like, the clip of day 3 when like, Beth, I think it was Beth. I don't like Beth, whatever. I think it's Beth.
Ooh, we'll get into her.
Mess.
Oh, I was there with you, like, talking to Austin, but, like, when we saw it, like, I don't think she was when all of that was said, when he was, like, the Pretty Boys 2.0. Like, she wasn't there yet. So I was like, and, like, the clip didn't really, like, specify that, because it was very close, which is Josh and Austin's face, so we didn't kind of get that whole view to, like, actually confirm it to the viewers who, like, probably don't care regardless. But it was like, she wasn't there, so I was like, Beth, like, shut up. Like, I just think she's also just super annoying. I think I, like, had, like, an undecided opinion on her before, but now I'm just like, I just cannot, like, just stop. But I thought the house meeting was stupid. Again, like, they called it over playing the game, which is, like, cool, but I think people, I don't know what the house actually thought about it, but if I was there, I would have been like, all right, this is stupid. It's even more of a reason to keep Josh. It's even more of a reason to protect him, because he has everyone coming at him, but not the majority. So it's like, you could still flip it. So again, it was bad in the sense that it was like annoying because it was just gameplay. But I think it also should have been assigned to keep Josh, personally.
Okay, let's get into this house meeting because I have a lot to say about this. Okay, I'm gonna make it very quick as possible. Okay, Jed. I'm gonna keep saying this. I don't care like how it sounds like, whatever. Jed signed up for Love Island and instead he got Big Brother. So he's standing here in the house on some let's play honest games. Let's talk about who our targets are. Who's coming after me? I get that you didn't originally sign up for the show, but you're playing Big Brother. This is a game about lying, manipulating, cheating, stealing, whatever. If I'm playing the game, I'm doing all of that and the above. Like, even though I'm not like that as a person itself, you're playing a game. You're playing a game. So my issue with this is like, you guys already don't want Josh to stay. You don't want him to stay. The house meeting is for you to get confirmation that people aren't coming after you, Jeff. No one's going to tell that to your face because this is how we play the game. You don't tell people all of a sudden, yeah, I'm coming after you. Hello? Like, that's not how the game works. Like, do you not understand that? Is that not a concept that you can grasp? This game is literally about lying. Like, I just find it ridiculous that Jed would sit there, bring a chair, sit in the middle of the circle. He's like, I just want to talk about the fact that people apparently are saying my name. You're 6 foot, God knows what. You're built like a strong man, like no shade. And you think people are going to say your name? Hello? Do you know what game you're playing? Do you know what game we're in a house to play a game for who knows how much amount of money? I would be playing for the title. I don't really care about the money itself. But you're playing this game. You're this tall. You're kissing Beth 1 second in front of everyone, which is like a potential romance. You're literally close to Tyshawn, and apparently people think Latoya, Tyshawn, and Jed are a 3-member alliance. Like, you really think people are gonna say your name? Hello? The math is not mathing to me. So that's my issue with Jed. My issue with that whole house meeting itself is because through the feeds, the show made the argument seem a little weird because you can see that Brandon was pitching in, but he wasn't saying stuff at the beginning. Like, it just wasn't making sense. But if you watched it, like, the argument was, oh, okay. Apparently there was a conversation had between Josh, Kyle, and Rohan. And the deal was if Rohan were to win, allegedly, apparently this is what Josh is saying. If Rohan won POV, he was going to take Josh up off the block and they were going to push for Jet to go on the block. Do I know if this is true or not? No, because I couldn't go that far behind in feeds to try to see if that conversation did or did not happen. Rohan saying it's not true, Kyle saying it's not true. So they bicker back and forth. And now my issue is Kyle. Kyle, they're sitting there and they're talking about this. And this is a conversation between Rohan and Josh, which is why I was so annoyed when they made it seem like Rohan just sat there quietly. He definitely did not. So they were having the back and forth. And Kyle was saying snarky remarks like, because you think you're the smartest house, yes. And all of this stuff. And I'm like, Kyle, this is not your argument to fight for. I'm about to say some petty shit, so I'm just gonna stop talking. Yeah. But
I didn't like that. Sorry to cut you off. I didn't like that 4-on-1 thing. It was basically it had to be like Austin versus Josh, and then Rohan went in, and then Kyle went in, and then everyone was on him, and like I didn't like it. It was very unnecessary. There was no point of doing it. Jetson. I don't know what Jetson's thinking. His head is so far up on his ass. Like, I don't understand what he's doing at this point. But it's very annoying and unnecessary as a meeting. Like, I wanted like a meeting like from last season, like that Min Lee meeting, if y'all remember.
Yeah.
Josie, I love that meeting. That house meeting, it was stacked. And I just remember Min Lee saying like, yo, Kyle, you're a bitch. Fuck you. You're my target. And then everyone went in, and then that fucking stupid shit happened, which I didn't like, with Jamar. But then, but like it was so unnecessary as a meeting that like
It literally had no purpose.
it
Like
had
there
no
was
purpose at all. It was
the
so annoying.
the meeting was started because they wanted to call Josh out on his shit. You already know that allegedly you already know that he's lying. So why are you making a house meeting to discuss it? Like it's just so weird. Like, when Beth at the end, she was like, okay guys, like we get it, like blah blah blah. That was the first time I agreed with Beth. I was like, yes, exactly. Like why are you guys still going on and on and on and on and on in circles about the fact that you think Josh is a liar? If you know he's a liar, vote him out. As simple as that.
Easy.
Like it was just too much. It was too much for nothing.
100%.
Okay, so I guess we talked about the house meeting. So we can talk about
right after.
Right after. Okay. So
talk about Beth. You could start with the Beth thing.
Oh. And like, do we want to talk about the Beth thing or the flip? Okay, I guess we'll talk about the Beth thing first.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said it here or if I just said it with you guys on a separate conversation or who I said it to, but I said Beth is in a good position in the game to go far and potentially win. And I still think this is true, but I'm no longer excited, happy, or rooting for Beth. And here's why. There's several reasons why. First of all, my main issue with Beth is the little sprinkles of racism. And I'm not calling Beth racist. Who am I to call someone racist? But it's the fact that she keeps throwing these microaggressions towards LaToya for no reason. Saying that she's going to snap, why she's so aggressive, and all of these other little things. I'm like, hello? Like, are you, like, why are you doing that? That's like one thing. Maybe she's just uneducated because she did say that she's never been with a black guy before. I don't know if she surrounds herself with black people in general. But maybe she just doesn't know. But my other issue is that she keeps fetishizing the other black male house guests. Little comments comparing their hair to pubes.
Are you serious?
Saying that she has to. She said something along the lines of, "I've never been around black men, or I've never dated black men, and now I get to have two." Like little weird fetishizing comments. It's like you want to throw microaggressions everywhere towards LaToya, but then you want to fetishize black men. Pick a struggle. Don't do one. Like if you're gonna just be like that, like pick one struggle. Don't pick both. Regardless, you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. I'm thinking maybe it's ignorance because she's from like the Alberta side of Canada, and obviously there are not a lot of people like me there. So I don't like Beth. I don't want Beth to go far. I was quite annoyed that the Monday episode, I believe, it was like Beth propaganda. And I was like, no. They were trying to push the Beth and Tyshawn show. And I was like, first of all, she's literally flirting with everyone, Rohan, Jed, Ty, especially between Ty and Jed. Like, it's fun for her, which, again, very weird. And then this episode tonight that we had, they made it seem like Jed's the one who just like strolled up in there and stole Ty's girl, when in reality she's been going back and forth and both parties are aware of it. Like literally Jed kissed Beth again in another scenario and he said 2-1, like they're keeping score.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Very
Like they
weird.
were outside, yeah, and it was only Beth and Jed, and they just made out. And
it's and I'm not gonna call Jed a tap dancer. That's the nice way of saying that. But it's too much for me. And I mean, this is a social experiment. The house itself or the production can't educate these house guests. But it's like, when you announce that there's going to be a season full of, or at least 50% BIPOC, I think as a white house guest or potential house guest, you should do enough research to inform yourself and educate yourself, because you're going to be surrounding yourself 24 hours, 7 days a week with these people. And I feel like going into a game and not trying to educate yourself even while you're in the house shows privilege. I'm going to say white privilege, but I haven't seen anything from the other house guests who aren't white. It's mostly Beth. But with that, it's very frustrating, and I'm hoping that production. I think they're trying to shift the attention from Beth to Tara, or I don't know what angle they're trying to do, but as I can't with the Beth propaganda. Unless she checks herself or someone checks her, it doesn't have to be a fight, but it just needs to be like
Shut the fuck up, Beth.
like a moment of, oh shit, maybe I am privileged. Like maybe I need to check myself. Anyways, that's what I have to say about Beth.
I don't know. It's these. I didn't know about that pubes comment. That was a little too much. Like, especially, that's like, in my opinion, that's like a case that's very not sensitive, but you don't talk about it like that. Like, you could appreciate it, but you don't say shit like that. That's very insulting. If someone says my hair looks like pubes, I will take that as an offense. Like, no matter like what type of hair, what color, or whatever. If someone calls your hair like pubes or pubish, like, what the fuck? Shut the fuck up. Like, you have the most blonde hair like out of everyone, so like, please don't talk.
I mean, just in general, like
Yeah,
is like always a topic.
exactly. Like, it's just, it doesn't make sense.
Not in the sense, not in like a positive way either. Like nitpicking like black hair wherever they can.
It doesn't happen. It shouldn't happen.
Especially like the natural hair, and then like the trying to like the natural hair that black people have versus like the white people, straight white hair that they want black people to wear, or like that you'll see black people wearing in order to like look more. I studied this in a class. It was like, I don't want to like, it's not formally called whitewashing, I don't think, but it's like framing
like Westernish, yeah.
westernizing like the appearances to like better fit that audience, like better like
Yeah.
of it. So it's like black hair in general is just a super sensitive thing. Like you see like very casual things from like going to like a hair salon. Not a lot of people can do black hair, to like just people wanting to touch it, people wanting to make comments about it. I feel like it always is just brought up in like many different ways, but it's never just kind of like, I like your hair. Like it's always like something other,
like an undertone.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It shouldn't happen.
oh, I like your hair, like it looks really nice, like that you would just say to anybody. It always just like has to point it out, I feel, and especially like from what I've studied, I feel like it's like westernization is like a better word than whitewashing.
I don't know. Even I went on national TV once to talk about racism within my university, and my name is out there. I don't consider myself like a public figure or anything like that, but like the field that I want to get into is communications. You have to be a little bit more upfront. So my information is out there. I don't really have anything to hide. And this man came under one of my pictures and was like, "You're trying to be white because you have blonde hair." And I was like, "Really?"
What?
I'm talking about racism and saying the N-word on my campus, and you want to come on my page, my account. You literally, first of all, my full legal name is a long last name. So you went out of your way to type all 26 letters of my name, my full name, to find my account, to then go look at it, say, because she has blonde hair, let me comment on it. Literally 2 seconds later, I was like, he deleted his account, he blocked me. Because I checked him, because I was like, hello, like, are you dumb? Like, blonde hair is not the equivalent of race and racism or saying the N-word. Like, get off my page. And it's just, that's the issue. Like, I think, and it's so hard because everyone's gonna pretend, because there's this whole performative activism thing that like we can go on and on about, but people want to pretend that they're for the cause. So it's very hard, and no one wants to be openly racist. So it's very hard to have those look at people and go, oh, this person's not racist, this person is racist, because not a lot of people are openly racist, or people don't even know that they're ignorant. So, you know, you can't really do much about it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Other than that, I think that yeah, Beth needs to get checked. Moral of the story. But yeah, on to the next situation. Let's talk about that flip vote. Oh my god. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm actually very pissed. This last week got me hella aggravated. So we all know that Josh is at the bottom of the table, bottom of everything, bottom, all of that. And they still proceed to vote for Josh to go home. Um, my I think that it was a very wrong decision from the House to do that because one, Josh has no allies, and two, they had the opportunity to take out a huge threat. I don't think he's the hugest threat, but it's like already that guy is Rohan is someone to be reckoned with. Like I said in last episode, I'm afraid of Rohan. Like the way that he's gonna influence everyone should be noticed from everyone, and the fact that he got skated by with no votes just proves my point on how well of a player he is. He did not say one word. Maybe he added a little sprinkles left and right, but the way he influences people is amazing. I think he has Kyle by like a thread. Like he's like he's like holding him by the leash, and Kyle is doing his dirty work. I don't know about y'all, but did y'all see Tara doing Rohan's dirty work by telling Austin put up Jed? I don't know if y'all saw that. It was on the episode.
No, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was very impressive.
I don't know. I think it's so weird to me because even seeing that episode and knowing what we know in terms of the whole house flip, like I was surprised that Tara and Rohan were so close and such cool allies, because Tara was willing to vote out Rohan, or at least she made it seem that way. And she had no reason to make it seem that way because they were having an open conversation about it. It's not like people were like, we have to listen to him. People were like, what do you think? Because we can't not all seven of us or all six of us not do it. Like we have to all do it. So it was really weird and interesting to me to see that she was trying to get Rohan safe. Like that threw me off so much. And maybe it has something to do with week one and not seeing feeds, but
yeah, we
it
never
threw
know
me
that.
off.
Yeah, other than that vote, oh, I was expecting 6-4 Rohan out of the house. I expected maybe a 10-0 for Rohan, but no, everything on Josh, and I'm just shocked. Nick, what do you think about it?
I'm just disappointed. I think last week I had a lot about what I wanted to see from Josh, and I feel like he had a very good week. And I think that he just should have been listened to. Like genuinely, like it didn't make sense to get him out at that point. Um, like it's like everyone in the house said, he's on the bottom. Like he has nobody, but they knew that Rohan had some connections to some extent. Because everyone likes Rohan, everyone was talking to Rohan. Like he has to have these connections, and Josh very clearly did not have any like connections. So to pass that up is just like, I don't know. I just think like you have to know, regardless of teams, that there's a split. Everyone's still voting. Um, so it's like that numbers are going in different directions. So why wouldn't you make the first move, especially when the first move isn't just like getting out a weak player from like a weak player who is connected. Like you can get out a strong player who's connected and keep a weak player that is just going to go on the block for you, like the following week. Especially when Josh is like, hey, I'll happily go up, but if you keep me, like you're protecting yourself. And especially what he said, I don't know if like the thing he said to Latoya, it wasn't Josh that said it, I don't think, but about how Latoya was like part of the 3 big targets for the next week. I don't know how like true that actually is, like if they are at risk this week, but at the same time, I think like, yeah, that's the 3 people that people just know about. So like regardless of how strong they actually are, people are going to run with what they have. So if you have three names that are linked together, it doesn't have to actually be linked together. If enough people are behind it, just throw them under the bus. That's three people who are now targets ahead of you. But with Josh there, they would have still had that opportunity to maybe change that. So in the future, people aren't going after those three, or just prolong it if they don't win the next HOH, so that Josh goes, and then the week after they can still win HOH, and potentially will. And with three people, not that it's likely, they could go back and forth if HOH wins. Again, not likely, but at the same time, it is good numbers, but they just need that person protecting them, or else they won't have that, because if they do lose, then they'll be the targets. So I think, like, again, I don't know how true that was about LaToya being part of the three being targeted, but I think like it still could hold some weight, because if your own alliance is picking three people from the alliance as targets, then that's a known trio. So I don't know. I just think like having Josh would only protect anybody in the house.
I will say, I saw Twitter, and apparently Kyle, Raiden, Austin, and someone else, or those four at least, they want LaToya to go. Like, it was said on feeds. I don't know if it was said to Victoria or the context, but LaToya is obviously a target, and we'll get into why she's a target like a little bit later. But I will say, like, the Josh vote was dumb. Josh should have stayed, and I feel like I'm self-aware enough to know that when you're in a house, you're probably going to create these relationships with the people. You're probably going to have blind spots. But as a commenter and as someone who's watching the feeds and watching the show, Josh is actively coming after Austin. Austin is not working with LaToya. Austin is not working with Tina. Austin is not working with Tara. Austin is not working with Kiefer. She literally put him on the block. That's four people already. She has like this like thing with like Jets and Beth and Tyshawn, I'm pretty sure. Okay, that's great. It shouldn't have been unanimous. If Judson and Ty are really about the Sunsetters, they should have picked the Sunsetters. They should have voted Josh to stay, because Rohan, we're talking about obvious peers. These people, like Tyshawn knows, Judson knows, and LaToya knows that people are putting them all together in the first place. They know it. So they're going to come after you regardless. Someone is telling you they're not coming after you. Why aren't you taking this advantage and getting rid of someone who's a known pair? And I'm saying that even though I love Rohan. Like, I really wish it wasn't those two on the block. But like, it just makes sense. And I just feel like, I don't know the last few, I know the broad idea of why the flip didn't happen, but I just feel like overall, if I was Tina, Tara, LaToya, or Kiefer, I would have been a solid votes. Those people have already voiced that they have no problem putting Tara up. Like, it doesn't make any sense for them not to keep Josh. It's quite ridiculous, especially since Josh hasn't been doing well in competitions at all either. So you were more likely to also beat him in an HOH competitions, not to count someone out because you never know. Mm-hmm. But like, statistically as well, like, the move itself didn't make any sense. I wish it would have stayed, even though it would have meant the loss of Rohan.
Yeah, 100%. It's just sad and a little like overwhelming. We as fans, we want to see some smart moves, and the fact that we missed a huge opportunity is just very like, not degrading, but I want to say it's very overwhelming.
You mean lackluster?
Lackluster, that's the word. Yeah, I don't want this season to flop because the cast is amazing. I mean, most of the cast. I'm not gonna say everyone. And there is like opportunities for this season to be really good, like top tier. But yeah, these people need to snap out of it, or else it's gonna be very boring. It's gonna give me very much season 7 where there's gonna be one group that's gonna float their way to the top and some stupid shit like that. So yeah. Also, when I found it a little bit iconic, in my opinion, the way Josh exited the house with the peace signs and all that, and while him walking up, and people were like, "Oh my god, I love you, Josh," and Josh was like, "I don't care, get out of my face, don't talk to me." That part made me like him a little better because he doesn't take bullshit, and I like that. Like he's not a fake bitch, and I like that of him.
Me and Vicken were having this conversation earlier, and I was like, I hated the way these house guests like greeted him goodbye. Like, maybe they really do care about each other. But as someone who's watching the feeds and seeing the way they isolated, or he was isolated, whatever, he was isolated. There's literally a clip of him walking up to a group and the group leaving.
Yeah.
Like this guy was going home, like he was isolated. These people treated him like crap. And now all of a sudden, because the cameras are on, it's, I love you, Josh. Oh my god. And trying to hug him, get out of my face. If I was a house guest and I knew I was going, I'm throwing everyone under the bus. I don't give a it has to be like I would have to unless my number one really needed me not to expose if I had that person. But Josh's situation where he was all alone, I'm throwing everyone under the bus. The furniture, the house, the slop, the walls, the house guests, everyone. I'm throwing everyone under the bus. I'm calling shit out. I'm cussing people out in French. Like va-t'en, it didn't what's the foot, bro? Like it doesn't make any freaking sense to me why the house guests were all of a sudden, we love you, Josh, and trying to hug him. Like I also would have and walked up the stairs. I probably would have said something like, there's a 6-person alliance, the Sunsetters, y'all should have kept obviously he doesn't know, but the alliance that he would have called out would have included all of them except for Beth and maybe Tara, but I would have just called shit out. I'm glad that he didn't hug them because I'm either blowing up the house or I'm leaving the house as quickly as Andrew did in his season.
Oh my god, as he did, as he should.
As he should.
As he should. That was so funny. It was legit. Or Mackie when he's like, I caught a plague
on his house.
Or Ali. Do you remember Ali when she was swearing at Kayla and her showmance? Alejandra.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking about Erica tying Kayla.
That's nice.
That's nice. That's real nice.
Oh my god, we got some. BB Can had some good evictions. Yeah. Good eviction speech, not eviction speeches. Good eviction walks.
Exits. Yeah.
People. Not to bring up a problematic person, but Cody from the 19, he just walks right on the table and just.
Oh my god.
I hate that man, but that's so I don't know. I wouldn't be hugging everybody. I mean, maybe I would. I don't know. In theory, I'd be pissed. But in the U.S., it's all live, so you have to watch what you say. But if it wasn't live, I'd have been y'all fucking suck. You fuck up. I'd be pissed because I don't know. I get even if it's a stupid Zoom game, if I get eliminated, I'm mad for a few minutes.
Oh my god.
I'm putting effort into this. So if I'm putting any effort into it and you vote me out, especially when it's the real game, Big Brother, that real, if we're in the house, I'm not going out quietly. You guys voted me out. Why do I care what happens with your game? My game is gone.
No, because here's the thing. You get evicted and you have 30 seconds to leave the door. You knew I was going. Why aren't you saying goodbye to me before the live eviction? I would rather someone be I'm just going to hug you now. Or I would tell the house guests that I was supposed to, hi, I'm just going to hug you now. Because when I get evicted, I'm burning the house down. So I'd rather get my hug in now.
Oh, yeah.
So that you know that we're still good. Because, also hugging just, one person, too, might, expose their game. But I would burn the house down. I would set shit on fire. Oh, my God. But, yeah. That exit.
Crazy.
I love that exit.
Oh, yeah. It was, it was really good from Josh. Yeah, that, I was, looking at everyone clapping for... No, it was actually very awkward because everyone was, standing up and they're, looking at Josh, like
Or
that.
like that meme of the girl in the courthouse.
They're like looking at him and Josh was like, okay.
Nah.
Deuces. Yeah, if I was Josh, it's like, yeah, if I was Josh, I would be like, Austin, you're a piece of shit. Jetson, you're a piece of shit. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, who do you guys think was the flip of the week? Because we all know who's the flop, but like, who do you guys think would be a flip?
Actually, my flop might be a surprise.
We'll get in that. We'll get into that later. But who's
So
the
we're doing
flip?
flip right now.
Yeah.
All right, this one's gonna be personal for me, not game related. Mine would be Victoria. I know I said this last week, but one thing that I wrote down, again, personal, not game related, was when she talked about the foster system, and I think that explains a lot about her. My mom was in the foster system like when growing up, and I know how bad it is. So instead of focusing on like gameplay this week, because I think it was pretty bad overall, I'll just say that she's my flip. I think that like she overall has such a good attitude in the ball pit too, the ball pit room. I have a feeling that TikTok video when they said start looking, it might have been fake, but I think it's and Josiane, you said it too. When we first saw that, you said there's going to be something in the ball pit. I would be checking. You said you would be checking every ball, and I think Victoria's able to do that. She has a good attitude just about the ball pit in general. She found her shoe, which I mean, like, it was funny, but like it was going to happen. Like you're just going to find your shoe, but like I still think like I think she might naturally find it though. But I think like her with her foster care story, it's like yeah. I mean, I think it's. Like, I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that because she is so upbeat, and I know that the foster system is very, very bad at several times. So I think like hearing about that, I was shocked, and then like made me think of my mom, which was like, all right, yeah, like I like that. I want to see someone like that win. I want to see someone who came from that win because like as much as it's kind of like preparation for living in a house again, I think like overall it is a lot to carry with her so to like see her with like a positive attitude of like what seems like all the time, I think is just like I don't know. I think she's like a special person, and I think she's also special in the game, and I feel like she stands out from the other players because I feel like she is invested in the game while also like not losing herself. Like we see a lot of fun from her. So that's my flip because I'm not basing it on gameplay.
That's cute. No, I like that.
It's crazy to me that she's your flip because she's my flop. Oh. Do I get into it now, or do you want me to?
I want to keep that for last. I want to know that as the end. Oh my god! I wanted to say my flip is T-Sean. I don't like. He's okay for one. Okay, one, he's my draft pick. Two, he's my Montreal, and I have to rep for him. And you know that part when Austin was looking for a renom? Why did like T-Sean's name wasn't in the conversation? And T-Sean is a
he's
pretty
Team Destiny.
Oh fuck.
Well, that'll do it.
Okay, so scratch that. He's not my flip. My flip would be Tina actually, because Tina showed me a lot about her. Like I liked the way she fought really hard in that veto, and she honestly like shocked me. And you know, there's that stigmatism where like old people go out first or whatever. Like I really like. She's not that old. I wouldn't say old, but I'm happy that she's still in the game, and I hope she's still safe. But I think she might be nominated, maybe not. We'll see. But yeah, Tina is doing good for me. At first, I wasn't feeling her because she gave me Carol vibes from last season. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to, like, y'all know me with my comparisons. I go all out.
No, it's because I made a face because I was like, yikes, because I just remembered Carol, but
yeah, I don't want to go with Carol. Carol is Carol, okay? Like, her Instagram bio gets me so freaking triggered.
What's
You know
she say? What's her bio?
Survivor of BB Can season 8. I'm sorry you wanted to leave the house. Don't start with me in this thing. Like I don't know who the hell you are. You wanted to leave. You told everyone to vote yourself instead of Min Lee. So like don't say anything. Like she has no say. I'm sorry, she has no say at all. Anyways, yeah. So I'm happy for Tina. I want her to go forward. I kind of wish she was my draft pick, but yeah, I wish her all the best. How about you, Josie?
So, my flip of the week. I have to think about it because part of me wants to say Tina, but you know what? I'm gonna say something controversial. My
Go
flip of the
ahead.
week is Josh. Yeah. And here's why. I know he went, and it's a sad time day. I know. But coming into like the bios, not that like again, I don't have like I don't hate house guests. I don't dislike. I like dislike them in context of like the game and the house and as a viewer, like how you watch a show. But I never go to the extent of like slandering someone or anything like that. Like no one deserves that. But again, Josh's bio video, I was like, oh my god, it's the Elon Musk stand for me. Like it's just like there was no indication for me that he was someone I was gonna root for. And he played a messy game, absolutely, but he served entertainment, chaos, and the most gameplay we've seen all season. And not saying a lot, being that he went home. Why is he giving us gameplay and he goes home? No. So I want to call him the flip of the week because he was able to flip the house. But we love a good link. He was able to flip the house. He flipped the house and obviously got flipped back, which is why a certain person is my flop of the week. But I think he did everything he could, and you can tell that he has immense respect for the game because he doesn't take things personal and he keeps fighting until the very bitter end.
Yes.
And that's all I can respect from him. This is an opportunity of a lifetime, I think. And when people disrespect the game or disrespect the opportunity, it very much frustrates me as someone who wants to play the game and who wants to have that privilege and that opportunity to do so. So that is why Josh is the flip of the week for me. And I hope he comes back.
Oh,
I want him to come back. Yeah, I said it. He went home. Here's the thing. Who else left? I continue left week 2 of Big Brother Canada, and they both came back. When he comes back, we all go back to this moment.
oh
Yeah.
my god. Oh
Yeah.
my. I mean, it would have been a good face crack if he comes back.
He will come back. Like I'm not saying this season, but in the future
maybe
he will be present. There's no way he's not.
If I'm in the same season as him, I'm taking him out one shot. I'm like, no.
Imagine he watches this and he's like, all right.
Vicken, I got you.
He's like, all right. Next time I see you, I'm taking you out. I know that's right.
Just so he knows, just so we guarantee it.
Yeah. How about the flops? I think I want to go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
The flops, not flop, the flops of the week is everyone except Josh and Rohan. Everyone except Josh and Rohan. They missed up on a huge opportunity to do something really good, and they fucked it up. And they all deserve the electric chair because of that matter. So I wouldn't. Yeah. I stand by what I said. Shame on them. This is Big Brother. If I was in that season, I would have been gobsmacked. Yeah. Nick, your thoughts?
So I don't want to put all of the blame on her, but my flop is going to be LaToya. I have a lot. I think.
Hold on. Rewind. I'm gonna let you retake that.
All right. then I'll say the Sunsetters.
You can say Latoya, but you're just gonna have to explain it to me, sir.
So from what I get, I don't want to say she's like the leader, but
Mm.
I think she has such control that can stem into other people, that like it could be traced back to her. And I think if she would be on board to flip with Josh, it would have been Josh to stay. Personally, I mean, again, that may be impacted
She
by
was though.
what?
She was.
No, but like if she wanted to keep Josh, like
She wanted to keep Josh. Beth called her aggressive too. Anyways.
that's the one thing I saw. I don't think I mentioned it earlier when we talked about it, but that's the one thing I saw. But I didn't watch the clip because I think I just watched like a screenshot of it and I heard about it. But again, the feeds is hard.
Imagine talking to someone and being called a. You see, let me not get into it.
No, because we'll get into it because Latoya has never even like done so much to like.
She's never raised her voice at anyone in this house.
The entire time. Like she speaks so calmly. That's why I'm like I would be intimidated by her. If she was like yelling and all that, I'd be like, all right, dig yourself a grave. But she's pointed and pointed in the way that she knows what she's saying.
Mm.
I think that's like the clear sign of like high intelligence, and that's not aggressive in any way. Aggressive would be like yelling and like forcing someone to do something. But like even we saw the conversation with Tina where Tina was like, I don't want to be like strong-armed into doing something, and like to Latoya, not that they were saying it about each other, but it was like, yeah, like Latoya is like, obviously if she was like that person, I feel like Tina would be like, what are you doing? But, like Latoya has control but never has to force it. Why like I think that's another reason why she is like my flop, because like she could have just been like, let's watch. But I think, but the thing is like I heard she was on board and then it flipped back. So now I'm just like, what caused her to like shift back?
From my understanding, it was like, okay, so the clips that were shown on this episode were like Latoya in the beginning of the week, like way beginning of the week. So like it's different. But the moment Josh came up to them yesterday, she was one of the only people who's for the whole flip. She was one of the only people. And she kept stating, she was stating something like Tyshawn was the one who was pushing for it the most, and then he was the most resistant. So it's like they flipped. So by the time that Josh did have momentum of staying, Latoya was one of the only people who wanted to keep him. But I think the conversation that they kept having within themselves is, it has to be all six of us. It can't. So I think I don't know what happened today during the feeds because I was really busy and I couldn't check on it. But it's seemingly like she's getting the blame for trying to get the flip to keep Josh. Like she's getting the blame, which is why people are coming after her like now, because people think that it was the whole idea was Latoya's when it was actually Kiefer's. But I digress.
So yeah, your turn.
Okay.
Maybe my flops are the other Sunsetters then.
Everyone who didn't keep Josh.
We have to get on these feeds. Week 3, we're going to change it around. We will be finding feeds. We will be watching feeds. We will be understanding the game better. I am not a casual viewer. I am not going to be someone who only knows what happens on TV. All right, you may continue.
Oh, okay. So originally I was going to give my fault to the week to one person. But now that I've thought about it, I've decided that I'm going to give 2 flops of the week. Kiefer and Victoria. Let me start with Victoria because she's the one I have the main issue with, okay? Victoria, the energy you're giving me and the way I'm feeling is how I thought I was going to feel about Latoya. Enough said. And she's a cop. Okay, and here's why. My Hamilton sister, I'm from Burlington, we're very close. You're from my area, come on, Halton region. But Miss Ma'am, here's my issue, okay? So the flip is for Josh to leave, to stay, sorry. It's decided, the Sunsetters have decided. They're just trying to figure out who's gonna lie, how do you want to lie. And the conversation was had with Victoria to do the flip. And Victoria, what did she do? She ran all the way to Kyle. And this is why the flip did not happen. Victoria running to Kyle. Okay. Here's the thing. Josh isn't coming after Victoria. Josh is coming after Austin and perhaps Brayden. And yes, Austin is a number for Victoria. But Victoria is putting a more of a noticeable target on her back than she needs to. She's already winning competitions when she does not need to. She didn't need to win this recent HOH. I mean, we don't know. I don't know what happened during feats, but she's not a target. Her name's not being thrown out there. She's just making herself a bigger and bigger and bigger target. And my issue is that if you're gonna run to Kyle and spill the beans about the whole thing, why are you only throwing Latoya under the bus? You know, Judd and Tyshawn are a part of it. Why aren't you throwing them under the bus? The math is not mathing for me. No, everyone's gonna go after Latoya. I don't know if she'll leave or go. Who knows? The new week has just begun. However, Victoria she lost it for me. I want to root for the underdogs. I do, and the underdogs is Victoria, Brayden, Austin, Kyle, and Roe. I want to root for them, but in reality, I just can't. They're not giving me anything. It seems very personal. It seemed very personal from them. So that's why Victoria's getting the flop of the week. She went from someone who impressed me episode 1 to disappointing me in what episode are we, 5? In terms of my second flop, Kiefer, what the fuck? That's just all I have to say. Because for those who have not watched the feeds, they made it seem like Josh just came up with this whole idea on his own. No, he did not. Kiefer pretty much exposed his Sunsetter Alliance to Josh, giving Josh the idea of how to campaign. Josh then campaigned and freaked all the members of the Sunsetters because they were like, why did Josh just pick out literally our whole alliance? Like, why is Josh just has a good degree. Maybe we shouldn't keep Josh, which put the seed in doubt in keeping Josh, which literally went against their whole purpose. Now, and then when people were talking about it, how does he know? Kiefer would lie about it. He literally wouldn't confess to the fact that he spoke to Josh about the plan. And so then when Toya literally, there's a video on Twitter where she's like, you have to tell them the truth. You have to tell them the truth. Kiefer then explains that actually I'm the one who gave Josh the idea, which made Judd and Tyshawn not trust Kiefer and look at him a little weird and sideways, therefore causing distrust within your alliance. That's part 2. Part 3 is now he has now convinced Kyle and Roe that he's in an alliance with them, but he's also in an alliance with the Sunsetters. So now he's wanting to evict Roe, but then telling himself he can't, even though it's his plan. Like, it's too many things for me for good gameplay. Therefore, you are flopping this week, sir. And, but I do like you. You just...
Messy.
Just a messy gameplay. And the fact that he was not even thinking about using the power veto on himself. Get the fuck out of here. Flop. And he loves the game. That's what makes me sick. You love the game and you want to stay on the block. Do you not know the saying, pawns go home? It's just flop after flop after flop after flop. Therefore, he is a flop. I think I'm going to crown him the flop. But Victoria is a very close second. That's all I have to say.
You lots of emotion in the After All That podcast. We love it. It's crazy. It's really good because we're diehard fans and we're giving our honest and true opinions. It's honestly the best thing ever. But yeah, people need to step it up. Let's see. I'm looking at Twitter right now, and it's looking like Victoria is gunning for Latoya, and that's not nice. I don't want to even with that cop situation, she's not saying a lot, which is good. And I feel like she could be one of the greatest players, Latoya. The way she speaks, the way she's strong, the way she talks, like everything about her is just top tier. And if Victoria goes for that move, I would give credit to Victoria because like if I would see a player like that, they're gone. And yeah, it's
It
just
would
sad. I
it would
just want her to go forward. Yeah, what are you gonna say?
definitely be smart to get Latoya out. Although, like, I think right now, other than Victoria, she might be my favorite. Um, I don't really know who I'm rooting for because I was just kind of like holding on to hope that Josh would stay and I would root for Josh. I know I'm rooting for Victoria, but I don't want her to go after Latoya. I can't see Latoya leaving this week. I really don't want her to go. I think the reason she was my flop is because I do really like watching her, and I am excited to see what she does. But I think she might be good because she does have connections
Mm.
already, like seemingly strong connections already. I just want to see her win the veto though.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I don't
for
want her
sure.
as the final nomination.
For
I,
sure.
I think the thing is that Latoya should have the numbers. With the way this house is going, I just don't know what will happen. Because if we think about it, if Latoya goes up, let's say, um, apparently Victoria has an issue with Tara. So let's say Tara and Victoria go on the block. Rohan will vote to evict Latoya. Kyle will vote to evict Latoya. Austin will vote to evict Latoya. And Brayden will vote to evict Latoya. Therefore, that means Beth will have to decide to vote to evict or not vote to evict. And seemingly, she is a part of the Sunsetters, but she's moving very wishy-washy. So she might vote to evict Latoya. So that would be 5 votes against Latoya. And then the votes to keep her would probably be Tina, Kiefer, Jed, Tyshawn. And that's it. So that would
That's
be
it.
what?
Yeah.
4 to 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Latoya going on the block, even though she seemingly is safe. Well, that was really bad. Even though she might be seemingly safe, like it's just not. I would rather her not go on the block, but like, what are you gonna do about it? But also, if Latoya goes on the block, that gives her a reason to now target someone. And like, I'm annoyed because like I feel like Victoria is the reason why she's being so targeted right now. And Victoria's HOH, and she's gonna put her up. Like I just feel like it sucks, but like I get it's a part of the game. But now I'm in this weird situation because I didn't even want to root for Latoya because the occupation, but I but I like Latoya now, and like again, like I came in wanting to root for Victoria. Like my top 4 were Victoria, Rohan, Austin. Who was the other one?
On your top 4?
Yeah, I had like a top 4. Like I'm afraid.
Tyshawn.
Tyshawn. Those were my top 4. I tweeted this, and I was like, and now I don't even. I mean, I don't have a problem with Ty, but I'm not like rooting for him. I'm not rooting for Victoria anymore as much. I'm not rooting for Austin, and the way Rohan behaved during the house meeting just made me not want to root for him as much. But like, he's like the person I said I would ride for, so I have to. But like, and I get why he did it. Like, I'm not even like upset or anything. I just think like, had he not been up against Josh, like, I feel like I would be a lot more satisfied with at least, or if the house meeting didn't happen. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like the house meeting made people look so bad for no reason. Like, especially Jed and Kyle. I have so much to say about Kyle, but it's not a nice comment, so I'd rather keep it to myself.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. It's too hard to call, but do you guys know who's going for the win? Or do you guys think it's a little bit early right now?
Say like for some reason like they were voting for a winner next week, Latoya. I feel like she's playing a winning game if she will make it to the end. However, I do not think she will make it to the end. Um, I don't think it's the right time to go after her. I think the Sunsetters should just get numbers and worry about that, and then pick her off when they still have the numbers solidified. Because if not, I think. Well, I mean, in Big Brother, it's like I don't know. It's really easy to just get targeted and kicked out. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I think like she just has to guarantee those numbers, but I think that they'll turn on her eventually. I just hope that they don't do it now, where they like may lose or may like put the having that number and having the numbers at risk, and then later have everyone go out just for them to target Latoya like week 3. Like I get that she is going to be a target, and I think that right now she's a target. I just don't think the timing's right. And like,
Okay.
I don't think Latoya will ever win, simply because like they're already targeting her now. But even if they weren't targeting her, I don't think that she would have won, because regardless, like she would have been a big threat, like narrowing it down, and they wouldn't have taken her to final 2 except for maybe Tina. I think the best people who are in like the people who are most likely to win. Um, I'll just go down the list. Like, I don't think Tara is going to win. She doesn't have enough numbers. Rohan has been put up on the block or an option twice now. Like, there's no way he's going to have longevity in the game. So he'd probably be either pre-boot or pre-jury, or like not pre-jury, pre-jury or early jury. Um, Victoria's just too much of a personality, and she's been winning competitions, and she's going to put up 2 people on the block. Therefore, those 2 people are probably going to go after her. Um, I don't think Jed's going to win the game because he's literally too big and he's getting a little too arrogant. Um, I think the best people who are in the best positions to win are Austin. No, actually, Austin's kind of in the minority. I didn't mean to say Austin. I wanted to say Beth, Tina, or even Kyle, because people are targeting Rohan before him. And Kyle is too, like, on the other side of the house. Like, he's not the main target. Like, I think he'll have longevity.
Okay. Okay, I see that. That's awesome. I think I feel like Brayden can go really far. He might have some wit, and I think he could go far. Tina, I really do think she can go far. Tishawn, the way that I don't want to say because he was so silent because he was safe, but like I feel like he's playing this dumb role. Like you saw on on the HOH, he got. I don't know if it was him doing this on purpose, but like it was kind of a good idea to fuck up on the first question. So like he'll just be like, okay, I'm dumb. Everyone's gonna think I'm dumb, so I'm going through. But he shouldn't do that the whole time because he's gonna be like a floater. Other than that, I don't think Austin is gonna go really far. I feel like she's next on the bottom, in my opinion. Jetson is not going far. Tara is not going far. And that's it. I really hope Latoya could go far, but you never know what could happen. But yeah, it's pretty something. I give this week a good 4 out of 10. I did not like this week. It was disgusting.
It's the issue I think I'm having overall is like the episodes I don't feel like represent the week.
Yeah.
They don't. Monday's episode was so disappointing. I think Vicken texted in our group chat something. He was like, I did not like this episode. And I don't know if I responded or not, but I definitely agreed because I was like, 100%. These episodes don't represent the week. And while I understand that there's fun, cute little things like,
The TikToks.
The TikToks I can understand because that could have been like an HOH comp, and it has something to do with like people thinking there might be a secret power because like cause paranoia. I think it's like moments where like Victoria's like high-fiving herself in the OLG room. Like those moments are funny, but I feel like that should be like stuff like the extras, if that makes any sense. Like
Yeah.
the behind the scenes, the extras, like the funny moments, like highlight those and then tell your viewers, hey, check out our website for funny moments, or we can have a flashback to those moments when they do those like long recap episodes. Like those moments are made for those elements. The episode shouldn't be two conversations with Austin and then nominees. The episode is an hour long. Why are we getting two conversations with Austin? Austin had a conversation with Rohan. We barely saw Josh's conversation with Austin because it was much longer, and we barely saw Austin's conversation with Kiefer. It was 3 conversations, and there was a lot more going around. And the fact that like they briefly mentioned that Latoya was an option was really weird to me. Like the week is very disappointing because feeds go on and off, and I'm not chained to my computer watching feeds because I'm a student, like I'm a university student and stuff like that, and I have a job. Like I can't. I need the shows to fill me in on the little moments I miss that are game related. Like, and I understand that some people aren't watching Big Brother totally 100% just for the game, so then make your episodes longer. Like, I just or like Célébrité Big Brother, like
Oh,
Quebec. It's like almost every single day of the week except for 2. Like make sense for the viewers. Like if you want to have those moments, okay, that's cool too. Like I understand like a Wendy's thing could also have gameplay, so I understand why you would show a Wendy's thing, but like I feel like you have to pick and choose things that are important, like because the flashback between Austin and Josh, like why have a flashback when we could have had it in the original episodes because we didn't understand anything of week 1. A lot of the problems for the first 2 weeks had everything to do with week 1, and we didn't even get beats. Like I just find these weeks a little bit disappointing.
yeah, 100%. And yeah, I think it has to change. I think longer episodes would be really fun. Like just to add, like they could have these like small funny moments, but we want to see a lot of good conversations, good moments where we could get filled in. But yeah, it's not fun watching it right now, but I'm hoping for the best. I think in a couple of weeks things will get really good. I want to see a lot of good shit. And the fact that you brought up Josie, Big Brother Célébrité, I got a little bit triggered, but it's okay. I like, oh my god, that season, that Big Brother thing, I cannot with it. If y'all, I don't know, have you seen a few episodes, Josie? Yeah,
I watch I think the last episode I watched was the fight between the older ladies in the house. Oh no, they were trying to get them to reconcile.
yeah,
J'oublie leur nom, mais c'est la femme mariée Hélène, mariée, je
yeah.
sais pas, Geneviève, I don't know.
They're all this like not all the same, but like I cannot with that show. It's so boring, and I'm not like the guy was crying.
I liked the first few episodes that I did watch.
I didn't like any of it. Like the fact like the guy was like crying, oh I lost all my I'm not gonna say it in French because like Nick is gonna be like the fuck. But like he's like, oh my god, I lost all my friends. I don't want to play this game anymore. Like fuck right off. Like
Who
please.
said that?
One of the guys that lost all of his teammates. I really don't
The guy
know.
from OD?
Yes, the guy from OD.
I have to watch them because Kevin.
Oh,
I have mixed emotions about Kevin. But anyways, we can talk about OD another time.
Yo, Nick, do you know what's OD?
I didn't even know what OD was until
It's basically like
year.
It's like Are You the One, but like version, like a very Quebec version of it. Oh my god.
No, I didn't know what that show was until my roommates. I have a lot of like Quebecois roommates at the time that were living on my floor, and I was like, "Oh, what's your OD?" They got me into OD, Goho, like all that.
No, it's bad. It's really bad. Like it's like people like pray to that show. It's really bad. But yeah.
Any other comments, thoughts on this week, y'all?
I think after this week, next week is guaranteed to be better. That's
Oh
all
yeah,
I go for.
We love
There
it.
has to be some gameplay now.
we love a manifestation.
Yeah, we'll finally have a good week. I mean, Julie was a personally bad week, but she was a good target to get out. Josh was someone I liked as well, but was not a good target to get out. And required very little gameplay to get him out, so...
Joe.
Who has Latoya as your draft pick? I know it's not me.
I have all the, like last week, like you
The
said, I have
color, yeah.
I think my draft may not be in danger this week, finally.
Who's left on your draft?
I have Tina, Kiefer, and Brayden left.
Yeah, I don't think you're winning this season.
I mean, no, I don't, but at least I don't think it's going to be 3 weeks in a row where I lose someone.
True.
Oh my God.
Actually, we never know.
We don't know. I swear to. But if it switches and I lose another one, what if I just pick the first 5 boots? Like, what if?
Imagine.
That'd be really funny.
It'll be really bad.
Oh my God. Well, I think it's so weird. Like coming into BB, maybe it's because I'm watching feeds, so like a little bit more intensely than I have other seasons. So I don't have like my people I'm rooting for. But like season 5, like I knew I was rooting for Aika, and like I didn't have a problem with that until she made it to robbed at Final Four. And then, like other seasons, like I was rooting for Paris. Paris was like my winner pick from jump. So like I was rooting for Paris. That year was a really good year for me because I picked the like winner picks 4 years in a row, like from first jump. And this season, like even the entries, I was like, who's gonna win this? Like I don't have an inclination. And now I don't even know like if I'm really rooting for anyone. Like I find myself leaning towards rooting for Tina and Toya, but like, so this is the first time I've ever felt like this watching a Big Brother game, if that makes any sense. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, you got a point. All I gotta say is Tishon is winning. I'm sorry. I don't want to make claims, but this is actually factual. Tishon will
backdoor Jed. All right, no. The episode made it seem like Jed's thinking about getting Tyshawn, like doing him dirty. Did you not see that? Where Adam he was Anthony, Anthony was talking about like, oh yeah, like you have to cut your allies and stuff, and he was like, what's the whole pretty boy? Like, like no shade to him, but I just didn't like Pretty Boys at all. Yeah, I liked him, but I didn't like Pretty Boys.
I really liked Anthony, but like that, it triggers me. I find it so cringe. Like Dane with his like no tube, like he's doing all that. I'm like, yo, stop it right now.
Wow, ciao,
that was something.
This week has been something. Predictions. Tara will probably go home this week. That's my prediction of the week. Yes.
I think it's going to be Latoya, sadly. And Nick?
I don't think it's going to be Latoya, but I don't have anyone in mind. I just cannot see her going this early.
It'll be really bad if she goes early.
It would just, But who knows? We'll see.
Damn. With that being said, I would like to thank everyone who sat here and listened to our podcast. We appreciate it and we thank you so much. And after all that, we would like to wish you a great night or a great morning or a great day, depending on the times you're watching this. And yeah, peace. As Josh says, I don't know what he does. He's
like. And he went and grabbed his bag. And I was like, you know what? Same king. I would do the same.
I give it to him.
No, yeah, but Bye, y'all. It was fun.
Now it's time to go beg Josh for a follow.